Hi everyone, and welcome back to English for You. I'm Pat.
I'm Shikling.
And today we're on part 2 of this month's story article. The book is called A Very Large Expanse of Sea.
Yesterday we met Sharon, a 16-year-old girl at school in the US.
She has a tough life as she's a Muslim American and the story is set in 2002, so only a year after the 9/11 attacks.
And because of those attacks, Muslim Americans are a target for ignorance and abuse.
Shirin has to move schools a lot for her protection, her family's safety, but wherever she goes, the same thing keeps happening.
The same thing keeps happening. People call her names, insult her clothes and her religion and more.
Her clothes come in for a lot of abuse as Shirin chooses to wear a hijab, a traditional piece of Muslim head clothing.
In one school, Sharon is attacked by 2 boys, but they say she caused the attack by wearing a hijab.
Shirin doesn't let people get close to her. The only way she can express her anger and sadness is by breakdancing.
And this is something she shares with her brother.
So let's read through day 2 of the article to find out if anything can improve Shirin's life.
Reading.
A very large expanse of sea. Shirin puts up walls to protect herself from the hatred that surrounds her at school. So it's hard at first when she starts hanging out with Ocean, the star of the basketball team. He's white, and she's afraid that he will treat her just like everyone else does. But Ocean understands her better than others, and they begin to date. As soon as Shirin starts to feel comfortable in her relationship, it becomes the focus of the entire school's attention. Both of them are bullied by students and even teachers. At one point, Ocean's basketball coach pressures her to break up with him. Upon hearing about this, Ocean punches him in the nose. They do their best to stick together. Before long, though, Shirin's family needs to move again. She enjoys the time she has left with Ocean and realizes she has let too much anger into her life. As her family drives out of town, Ocean texts her and asks her not to give up on him.
So day 2 starts by saying Shirin puts up walls to protect herself from the hatred that surrounds her at school. So this is kind of carrying on from what we said in day 1 about Shirin being distant and not letting anyone get close to her. The sentence also uses the word hatred, which is the noun form of the word hate. Hatred is the feeling that people have when they seriously dislike something. And it can also apply to feelings for whole groups of people in general. Now the thing is here, people don't hate Shirin because of something she actually did. It's because of who and what she is. Here's an example sentence with a similar idea. The war between the 2 countries left a lot of hatred between the 2 sides.
好，所以 hatred 就是仇恨跟憎恨的意思。所以呢，Sharon 在心中就筑起了一道墙，因为在学校的时候，她整个人都被仇恨包围着。那么老师刚刚说是名词，我们看一下形容词哦 ，hateful 就是可恨的或讨厌的。那你可以说 He thinks doing his laundry is the most hateful thing to do. But here's where we get into a bit of high school love story.
Yes, it is time to introduce another character. We see that. Okay, we know that Shirin's building up walls. She's trying to kind of protect herself from the hatred. And because of this, we see it's hard at first when she starts hanging out with Ocean, the star of the basketball team. And I wonder if this is where the title of the book comes from. An ocean is a very large expanse of sea, so I think the title refers to this character.
Could be, but things aren't easy for Sharon and Ocean. We see that he is white. And she's afraid that he will treat her just like everyone else does.
Yeah, so they start spending time together, but she's like, he's a white guy, and every other white guy I've met in the last few years has been mean to me. I think Ocean will treat me in the same way.
对，所以Sharon其实很担心，因为 Ocean 是白人呢，也是篮球校队的明星球员，他就有点担心，是不是像其他人这样对待他？
This isn't the case, though. We see that, but Ocean understands her better than others, and they begin to date.
Oh, 所以他们开始交往了。And next we see that as soon as Sharon starts to feel comfortable in her relationship, it becomes the focus of the entire school's attention.
The word focus means the central point, the thing that is in the middle. It's the most important point of something, of anything. To be the focus of attention means that everyone is paying attention to this thing. Everyone's looking at this thing, thinking about it, talking about it, and so on. So here's another way we can use focus. The focus of the meeting was on how to increase the company's sales.
好，这个 focus 在我们文章中是当名词，有中心焦点的意思，所以 the focus of attention 就是关注的焦点。那么我们在拍照片的时候啊，如果有对焦，你可以说 in focus； 没有对焦就是 out of focus。那么 focus 我们也可以当动词哦，我们都常常说 to focus on something 或者是 someone， 就是专注于什么事情或专心于谁身上。那你可以说 You should focus on the road when you are driving。开始时呢，要专心看路。However, all this attention isn't a good thing.
Unfortunately not. The article says both of them, so Shirin and Ocean, are bullied by students and even teachers. To bully someone is to use your size, strength, or influence to make life miserable for another person who doesn't have these things. So bullying could be calling someone names, hurting them, making fun of them in front of others. Now these days, a lot of bullying involves leaving nasty comments and sending mean messages on Facebook and Instagram and social media.
所以 bully 这个字是霸凌跟欺凌，那它也可以当名词，当名词就是霸凌别人的人。So even the teachers, what did the teachers do?
Well, we see in the article that at one point, Ocean's basketball coach pressures her to break up with him. So we have a few things to look at in this sentence. The first one is the phrase at one point. Now this means one time or at a single point in time. It's very similar to the occasion, the word we looked at. So on one occasion, at one point, one time, all these things have the same meaning.
对，所以 at one point 就是一度，类似 once 的用法。老师刚刚都提到。
Right, that's it. So, who did this? Well, the person who pressured Shirin, who went to speak to her, is the basketball coach. A coach is usually someone who trains a sports team, telling them how to play the games, how to get ready, how to improve their skills. They do practice games and all this kind of stuff. So we usually think sports, and here it's the basketball coach. However, we can have coaches for many other things in life. The idea is that these are experienced people. They know how to improve others, to get them to grow, to improve their skills. Just tell them, this is how you do it. This is how you get better. This is what you need to do to kind of improve generally. Here's an example sentence. The soccer coach showed his players a new way to score goals.
好，所以 coach 就是教练。那么什么东西的教练呢？你在前面加一个字就好了。所以像 basketball coach or tennis coach, baseball or vocal coach.
Oh yeah, someone who teaches you this is how you can sing well and like for a long time and stuff.
Right. 就是一个 like 唱歌，教你唱歌，或者篮球、网球、棒球都可以。那么 coach can also be used as a verb, and when you coach someone, that means you give them special classes, or it could be like a small group that you give a class to, or you can also help them prepare for a contest or an examination. 所以你可以说 the teacher coaches one of her students after school for his speech contest.
Yeah.
So what did the coach do, though? We will find out.
Yeah, he pressures Shirin. So we saw in the article that the basketball coach pressured Shirin to break up with Ocean. To pressure someone means to use pressure to get someone to do something, and it's always pretty much something they don't want to do. Now, this kind of pressure could mean you keep asking them like, hey, do this, hey, do this, hey, do this, and the pressure comes from the fact that you're being repeatedly asked. You can also use some kind of threat, like break up with him or I'll make sure you get bad grades. So this is using some kind of influence to pressure someone, to crush them, to threaten them. For example, a boss could pressure you into staying late by saying, well, you might not keep your job if you don't, or you might not get a pay raise if you don't. Your parents could also pressure you by saying something like, you don't want to disappoint me, do you? So they're using emotional pressure. They're making you feel bad to get you to do what they want. Here's an example sentence. Allison's friends pressured her into going out with them even though she didn't want to.
好 ，pressure 就是催促、胁迫，所以课文就是说呢，有一度 Ocean 的这个篮球教练居然胁迫这个小情侣要分手，非常的不好。那我们 pressure 这个字呢，我们也可以说 to pressure someone into doing something， or to pressure someone to do something 都可以，胁迫某人去做一件事。那譬如说 ，He will never be pressured into doing something he doesn't want to do。好 ，and then pressure 也可以当名词哦，我们可以说 under pressure，代表你有很多的压力。那你可以说 some people work better under pressure， 有些人在压力之下工作效益比较好。那我们常见的血压可以说 blood pressure。好 ，so I imagine Sharon says that she won't break up with Ocean, right?
That is right, and that's not all. We see in the article that upon hearing this, upon hearing about the pressure, Ocean punches him, the basketball coach, in the nose.
Good job.
Now, today's grammar uses upon and VING, which means as soon as this thing happens, something else happens. It shows that only a short time passes between the two events and that the first event leads directly to the second. We could also say, upon seeing my bad grade, I gave a loud sigh. We can also say on with a VING. So upon seeing my bad grade, I gave a loud sigh.
好，我们看一下 upon 跟 on 后面加一个 VING 用法。老师刚刚讲得很清楚，这句型呢用来连接两个发生时间点一样或相当接近的事件或行为哦，表示一怎么样就怎么样啊。那么upon 它是接系词，后面要接动名词片语或名词片语，那我们可以放在句中、句首去修饰我们主要子句。不过要特别注意呢，这个时候语义上的主词呢，必须跟主要子句的主词一样哦。那我们看一下例句 ：The travelers began to complain upon hearing the news that their train had been cancelled。那这个 upon 我们可以改成 on。那我们课文里面前一句有出现 as soon as 类似的用法，那我们可以拿来跟 upon 跟 on 代换。那我们回顾一下课文 ，As soon as Sharon starts to feel comfortable in her relationship, it becomes the focus of the entire school's attention。这一句就是指说一怎么样就怎么样。那我们可以用刚刚那个句子，我们代换一下。The travelers began to complain as soon as they heard the news that their train had been cancelled. So Ocean punched his coach.
Yep, to punch someone means you make your hand into a fist and use that fist to hit someone. It is it's pretty much the most common thing to do in a fight. It's just kind of a natural reaction. And of course, in a boxing match, the idea is to keep punching the other person until they fall down. Here's an example sentence that could have come straight from my childhood. Vince got into trouble for punching his little brother in the stomach. But little brothers deserve it.
所以我们这边看到 punch 这一个字就是用拳揍猛击的意思，所以 Ocean 呢一听到教练逼他们分手，他就揍了教练一拳。那我们如果揍一个人，我们可以说 to punch someone in the face or in the stomach， 可以揍他们的脸、他们的肚子的意思哦。好，那我们我们看另外一个片语哦 ，to punch the clock， 这个就是像是 clock in and clock out 的意思，有打卡上班或者是下班的意思。那么 punch 也可以当名词哦。那譬如说 throw a punch at someone 就是揍人一拳的意思。
Okay, so those are some of the story events. Let's see how the story ends. The next paragraph says, they, so that's Sharon and Ocean, do their best to stick together. To stick together means to stay together and support each other in difficult times. Friends stick together when things are hard.
所以 stick together 就是互相扶持、团结一致，总是在一起。所以就算遭遇了很多阻碍啊 ，Sharon 跟 Ocean 还是很努力的互相扶持彼此。And that sounds good for them, but what about everyone else? Do people in the school accept their relationship?
It's not really that kind of story. It doesn't have a happy ending. So we see that before long, though, Sharon's family needs to move again. Maybe they were having too many problems in the area because they were Muslims.
所以 Sharon 居然要搬家了耶 What does this mean for Sharon and Ocean? We see that in the article. She enjoys the time she has left with Ocean and realizes she has let too much anger into her life.
So at least Sharon starts to make changes to make her life better, so it's not all been for nothing. Even though she has to leave town and they pretty much have to break up, at least, from seeing each other regularly. So next we see that as her family drives out of town, Ocean texts her and asks her not to give up on him. So he texts her, which means to send a text message. Now, back in 2002, this was before smartphones, so it would have been a real, actual text message that cost you a tiny bit of money. Maybe you get some free ones with a phone deal every month, but otherwise you have to pay for those things. Now, of course, we use the word text to mean messages sent by line, WhatsApp, Facebook, and whatever. Not many people use regular phone-based text messages anymore, except my parents, but there are, because there are so many other services, but back in 2002, that's what we did. Here's an example sentence. My mum just texted me to ask what time I'll be home.
所以 text 这边是用手机给谁发讯息。那老师前面说的故事发生在2002年，那时候手机呢都还是以简讯为主哦，寄一封简讯都是有费用的，不像现在可以用很多通讯软体 Line、Facebook。透过网络来传讯息哦，所以我们说 Sharon 一家人开车离开的时候 ，Sharon 就传了Ocean 就传了讯息给他了。好，那么 text 这个字当名词也可以有正文、正本或文字的意思。那像我们学校的教科书就是 textbooks。And we also saw the phrase "give up on someone" or something. What does that mean?
Well, if you give up on someone, you realize they'll never change or improve, and you kind of stop hoping or waiting for this to happen. In a relationship, giving up on someone kind of means the end. You realize it won't get any better, and you just usually end the relationship. However, Ocean says, don't give up on me. So he's saying to Sharon, don't forget about me. We can keep in touch. We can stay connected, even though they live in different places. And maybe one day they'll meet again.
所以 give up 大家应该之前有看过是放弃，所以对谁放弃？对一个对象，我们加一个 on to give up on something。好，所以代表 Ocean 并不想要跟 Sharon 分手，对他们的感情还抱有希望。好，那么再来一个句子哦 ，She's a teacher that never wants to give up on any student.
Yep, means she won't let them fail. Well, that is the end of the story, and it's the end that we're going to discuss in today's For You chat question.
For You chat.
So the question is, at the end of the book, Ocean and Sharon separate. Now, why do you think the author gave the book this ending?
I think he wanted to make this book even sadder. I mean, it's generally very sad, like all the subject, the whole subject.
Yeah, true.
Raise everyone's attention.
I think it's probably because it's more real. Now, if it was a
okay.
Hollywood movie, then the two of them would somehow convince the whole school and the teachers to like them and accept them. And, the bad basketball coach would get punched again or get fired. The family would stay, everything would work out well. That's a Hollywood ending.
Right.
Real life very seldom has that endings, and literature should really mirror real life. I mean, yes, sometimes some stories want to have a happy ending, but you've also got to reflect the word around you. That's what I think the writer is doing here. She's saying, this is what is most likely to really happen. And this is probably what will keep happening until people sort of start to change. So, do different things in order that this story won't happen again and again to more people that you know. People will break up, they'll go their separate ways. So this kind of, I guess, sad ending or heavy ending is more likely to make people think. If it's, happy Hollywood ending, there we go, book's done, what happens next, whatever.
It makes people reflect.
Yeah, it's more like a happy ending can be very memorable, but this kind of ending is memorable for a different way and maybe causes you to think differently. So the writer, I think, wanted to affect people and the way that they think. Okay, that's the end of the part 2 of this literature article, but we have a part 3 to come. That will be tomorrow. We're going to talk a bit about the author and the themes in the book. We will see you then for that tomorrow. For now, I'm Pat.
I'm Chikling.
Bye for now. Bye-bye.
A very large expanse of sea. Shirin puts up walls to protect herself from the hatred that surrounds her at school. So it's hard at first when she starts hanging out with Ocean, the star of the basketball team. He's white, and she's afraid that he will treat her just like everyone else does. But Ocean understands her better than others, and they begin to date. As soon as Shirin starts to feel comfortable in her relationship, it becomes the focus of the entire school's attention. Both of them are bullied by students and even teachers. At one point, Ocean's basketball coach pressures her to break up with him. Upon hearing about this, Ocean punches him in the nose. They do their best to stick together. Before long, though, Shirin's family needs to move again. She enjoys the time she has left with Ocean and realizes she has let too much anger into her life. As her family drives out of town, Ocean texts her and asks her not to give up on him.
Vocabulary Review.
Hatred. William has a real hatred of people who eat with their mouths open. He thinks it's very rude. Focus. The politicians discussed many things during the meeting, but climate change was the main focus. Coach. The coach told the baseball team to run 3 more laps. Pressure. Nancy pressured her husband into giving up smoking because it's hurting his health. Punch. Emily got so angry that she punched the wall and hurt her hand. Text. Ron didn't pick up the phone, so Judy texted him to say she was running late.
智慧小补帖
Bully.
以上节目是由活用空中美语制作。活用空中美语杂志，请洽询全国各大书店。如欲索取试听教材，请来电02-2364-4000 02-2364-4000，或上网查询，网址是 www.english4u.net www.english4u.net